Oh, well, good evening out there. Well, the sun has slowly made its way down once again, and we can finally get comfortable and have a chat. My name is Eddie Booze, and this is Exit the Matrix. Throughout my life, I have traversed my share of rabbit holes, and like many of you out there, I have seen and experienced some things that I simply cannot explain. But I invite you all to consider that this world may not be exactly what we've been told it is, and that maybe, just maybe, we haven't even scratched the surface of the truths that lie before us. That being said, I would love to introduce my guest today, the OG co-host of Exit the Matrix, one of my favorite people in general. I just love this guy. Mr. Joel David Reed, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Good to be back, bro. It's good to have you back, my man.
It's really good to be back. It's it's just, I always have a blast being here.
All right, so you just fill me in real quick. You guys just finished up with your Renaissance Fair run, everything like that? Yeah, two of them, right?
The two big ones in Southern California. So there's the Southern California Renaissance Festival, and then there's the Coronaburg Renaissance Festival in Corona. And
gotcha.
That one's more like a German village, has like permanent structures set
like an
up.
Oktoberfest type thing?
It feels like that, but it's...
Interesting.
Yeah, but actually, the one thing I really love about it is the jousting arena is like a wooden built thing. It's not like...
Wait, the jousting arena, do they actually joust?
Oh, yeah, they joust. Hell yeah.
With horses?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
No, you're lying.
Okay, I keep telling you, you need to come
All
to
right,
these.
you just invite me, dog.
Okay, this weekend I'm going to the San Luis Obispo at the Central Coast Renaissance Festival, and they don't have jousting. They have live steel tournaments, so they'll have like
real sword fighting.
They'll have like a box that's got bales of hay all boxed in about the size of the little coffee table, like the little meeting room out there, and you have like 4 guys, and last man standing wins.
Interesting.
Yeah, you would love to watch that.
So it's just get knocked down. The last to be knocked down, or the last to be standing.
There's a point system and everything too, but like what is
this? Is this with like swords, or is this just like
with swords?
Bare knuckles.
Are we
fucking fighting?
Full plate armor, live edge.
Shit.
Last year, a dude actually got like stabbed in the shoulder.
Nice. Well, I mean, not nice, but that's crazy, dude. All right, well, hey, I'll invite me to the next one of those, dude. I'll go. You said this coming weekend you guys are going up there, but it's all the way in San Luis Obispo. It's like a 3-hour drive. I'm not sure if I'm down with that.
Yeah, no, you don't have to come to that one. And also going to go back to...
That's kind of cool, though. I got to say, that's something I didn't expect to hear is at Ren Fairs. I thought it was just, like dirt and like dirty food and dirty people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But like in a good way. You know what
Everything
I mean?
just kind of tastes a little sweaty and a little dusty.
I was just gonna say, lots of sweat, huge tits from what it's like. I mean, it's a Ren Fair thing. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people know from Ren Fair anyway.
Yeah,
but
it's like the jousting, the courts.
I didn't know that part of it, dude.
The crafts.
I gotta come check out the jousting, dude. I gotta come check out the combat sport side of Ren Fair. I had no idea that even existed. Yeah. I mean, I've seen on YouTube like the medieval fighting shit where the guys get in the ring with the swords and the shields and stuff.
It's like medieval times, but like...
But are they really like going
except
hard?
They're not pre-broken lances. It's not choreographed fights.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
So when they joust, it's not pre-broken lances like at medieval times? They're really trying to... It's not just a show. It's an actual combat competition?
Like they want it. Yeah, these guys want to know. They're here to show who's the best. This is a tournament. I'm here to knock
Thou God knocketh the fuck out, sir.
Dost thou even hoist?
Jump off your horse and stand over the guy. Like, yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Teabagging a dude in chainmail.
Pull your little helmet out. What's up?
That's actually where the salute originated from. Was lifting your visor.
Sure. No, that sounds fun. Actually, I had no idea that part of Renaissance Fair existed. I didn't know there was like a combat sports side of it.
Oh yeah. There's sparring. There's combat lessons, fencing lessons, archery lessons. There's all sorts of stuff.
Wow. Interesting.
And I still stand by the only reason there's axe throwing bars at all is because people were like, how come we can't have the Ren Fair like all year round? I'm serious. Axe throwing bars are because Ren Fair.
Right, really?
I
So did Ren Fair used to have axe throwing?
Still do.
Was that's the thing at Ren Fairs?
That's
interesting.
One of my first jobs.
Was taking care of the axe throwing booth.
Well, as far as like games, one of the first jobs with the game booths that I had was picking up the knives.
That's kind of cool. And then you moved into being a performer,
right?
And now you're a musical performer at these. Well, and you produce the shows, you build the sets, things like that.
Sometimes, yeah. I help friends with booths, set up and build their booths. I work.
That's cool. And then you just tried out for SeaWorld's pirate band.
Yeah.
Right? You auditioned for that, right?
The Scurvy Squad.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, so they're having their second wave of auditions today, so I'll know
soon. I think you fit the role, and I think you'll probably get it. Another thing,
I do have like a couple conflicting like gigs. Like I know I was like, oh yeah, I got a tour date. I'll be in New Mexico that weekend, and they're like, oh, you're like in a band. I'm like, yeah.
But what's the next step? So it's like Ren Fair, like, and then performer, and then SeaWorld performer.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well,
what's next? Gay porn?
Why the
naturally? Does that naturally go that way?
It pays more. So yeah. No,
I'm serious though. Like, what's the next like real step though? You know?
I've actually been forming a sea shanty band with my girl and a couple friends of mine, and doing some gigs.
A sea shanty band,
yeah.
Huh? So all waltzes then?
No, well, not all 3/4, but
it's not all 3/4.
But
I mean, that's a sea shanty. I mean, it's fucking shanty is. That's what they are. They're
some
waltzes.
Shanty ass song. No.
So that's cool, man. I guess you know.
But also, I think we're really just trying to do like, I'm talking to them like, just play at themed events. Have like
interesting.
Have like
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
like a bluegrass set, a medieval style set with period instruments, a pirate set. I'm even saying like, let's go to wasteland events and cyberpunk events and have like some weird,
interesting
chunky.
Now you're gonna have to tell. I'm like, I feel like I'm so sheltered because I don't know what a fucking cyberpunk event is, or what was the other one you said?
The wasteland.
What's a wasteland event? What is that?
Well, is
this like a Mad Max type shit?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it like.
They
the
got
name.
Vehicles.
That's what the name makes me think of.
The first time I went was like in 2009, and it was pitched to me as a Mad Max cosplay event.
Interesting.
And people bring out cars that they've worked on. It's like
you're kidding. It's like that. People
it's
build
like
shit.
Burning Man, but
Diet Burning Man.
You throw Ren Fair and Burning Man together, and that's kind of how it would feel. But yeah, it's just a wasteland cosplay event. Costume 24 hours. You have to be in period attire, even your sleeping attire, and there's parties going on 24 hours. There's something going on. It's nuts.
That's crazy. I mean, that sounds fun, dude. It sounds like you enjoy what you do. It sounds like you have an opportunity to enjoy what you do.
Thank you. I mean, I'm looking for more outlets for it because, I'm like, we're both character actors. We're both, we do more than just music, more than just acting, and
right.
as a costumer,
as
a makeup artist, as a
right.
Throw it all together, and what do you get? Well, some costume wasteland band.
It's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've got a lot of there's a lot of interesting things and creative things that you've kind of gone through over the last few years. It's really it's been very interesting to see at the very least, but I will say I just recently recorded his band, the one that plays at the Ren Fairs, and they're good. They're really good, and the songs are fun. The Dickens Cider is a very funny song. But yeah, what's the name of the band again?
Tea and Strumpets.
Tea and Strumpets. We talked about that on like the first or second episode. Tea and Strumpets. So
Tea and hose.
because it's a tea. What is it? It's a
strumpet is a hoe.
No, but what's it's not a whorehouse. It's a
tea house.
It's a tea house.
Or a tea house. Right. Wink, wink. Like Hottie's Pizza. It's totally a pizzeria, right here in Costa Mesa. Wink, wink. I shouldn't say that. You should probably beep,
what happened?
All that.
What just happened? I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's
nearby pizza in DC.
Nearby, there's a pizzeria that is not a pizzeria.
Oh, well, I have no idea what he's talking about. But I'm not from here. I'm from Long Beach, so I don't know what's in Costa Mesa. I don't know too much of what's in Costa Mesa. I got sidetracked too, like while you were saying that. But
we're gonna be talking about some weird critters today.
Okay, so yeah, and and I'm not sure, it's our first episode back in a little while. I'm super glad to be back. I had a couple of episodes recently where I had a lot of fun. I had Mikey Bevan on, retired Green Beret.
Oh wow.
And we had a really great talk about Yuri Bezmenov and the ideological subversion of American values.
Mm-hmm.
I had John Whitting on, advertisement executive. He ran campaigns for like Hankook and like a bunch of really big things. And him and I talked about chemtrails.
Nice.
Which you and I talked about earlier today. The EU just voted in to do some sort of blanketing of their skies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly how far that law has gotten or if they've executed that yet, but I'd like to do a follow-up to that episode. Also, I had Bridget the Midget in here recently. We did a couple
way.
Yeah, dude, she was in here last week, dude. Like her husband comes to my poker game every Thursday night.
I did not.
Yeah, her husband's a regular at my poker game on Thursdays.
I met her at a horror film convention.
No kidding?
At Fangoria in I think.
Well,
but yeah, I think it was that convention.
She is awesome. She's starting her own podcast here. Her and Lila Hart, the comedian, another a midget comedian, small person comedian. Sorry, I don't want to say, but
can't be using your hard M's, bro.
They run I produce their podcast here. It's called the Bridget and Lila podcast. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but the Bridget and Lila broadcast, because they're broads and they're casting spells is what they say. So
you got a little kitchen witch podcast.
What do you mean little?
Literal kitchen witch podcast.
Yeah, something like along those lines. So, but Bridget came in here and she was on. We did a couple episodes on AI Antichrist. On a couple of other things, yeah, and so I've had some really good episodes. Did have a little bit of a break here. Went to Oklahoma. Took my father out to Oklahoma with me to see my house. Got to spend some time out there, and really enjoyed the time with my dad. It was so nice to get out. It was the first time my dad and I got like an actual vacation together in like 20 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, my dad and I both went to New Jersey to help my aunt, who was, just some family stuff. But that wasn't necessarily a vacation, vacation. So we, took some time. We went out to Oklahoma recently and went and saw my house. It was a fantastic time. Again, I got to spend some time with my father and just kind of got to relax and experience that. And then right after that, my mom flew in and got to spend about a week and about a week and a half with my mom. So that was really
Oklahoma
nice.
Or here?
Here.
Oh,
so
cool.
she flew in from Oregon here when I got back here, and it's just been a nice 3 weeks or so. I've been kind of doing a little bit of work here and there, finishing the Tilt Factor, which is my poker show. Here at Pacific Lens Studios, going to be releasing on Rebuy Studios this week, actually. In fact, tune into that, you guys. If you guys are poker fans, check out the Tilt Factor on YouTube right here. We're going to be releasing it on other platforms as well, possibly Tubi and possibly others. And but yeah. Go to Rebuy Studios. It's our poker channel that we run all kinds of live poker games and things like that. I know we kind of gotten a little. We're slowly easing into the conspiratorial type stuff today. We're just kind of reacquainting ourselves with it. But
yeah, this isn't something you just dive into all willy-nilly.
Well,
okay?
it is. I kind of do think that
if you want to
today we wanted to talk about cryptids. Yeah, right. Today we wanted to talk about cryptids. I wanted us to go into this episode completely blind, not really having specific agendas of what cryptids we wanted to talk about. Just kind of winging it and just talking.
Yeah.
So that being said, let's get into that.
Yeah.
So let's get into that. So I'll have some questions for you.
Yeah.
I've had some personal experiences with cryptids in my life, and I did plan on talking about those today, and maybe I'll get to those on the back end of this. But for now, I just want to kind of pick your brain about some things. So what is it called? Is it the Gimlin Patterson footage of Bigfoot? The one where it's real. I think that's what it's called.
The iconic.
Yeah.
Walk like
so
an
that was
Egyptian.
I think that's called the Gimlin Patterson footage. I might be getting that wrong.
Yeah.
But okay, specifically talking about Bigfoot, Gimlin Patterson footage, true or false? Real or not? That particular image, real or not, of a Sasquatch? Well, first of all, do you think they exist?
Yes, I think they exist.
For sure. Okay. I didn't think I needed to ask that.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. And then Gimlin Patterson footage exclusively, real or not, go.
I think there are far too many legends of a man-beast variant out there. There's too.
So they're not be true.
There's too many theory-anthropic.
Of course.
Lore.
Yeah.
For there not to be some kind of something. Realistically speaking, the adult in me says no, I doubt it's real. But also the believer in me is like, I don't know though. I couldn't tell you. It's like it's one of those. No, I don't think. Okay, no, I don't think that footage is real. But I think that doesn't deter me from believing in Bigfoot, though.
What do you guys out there? You guys think Gimlin Patterson footage? First of all, does Bigfoot exist? Yes or no? And is Gimlin Patterson footage, was that real? Yes or no? Also, so okay, if no, and you're one of the people who think if no, and you're one of those people who think that Bigfoot does exist, but Bigfoot has never been captured on video because maybe of his actual nature or whatever. Because I know that there's some people who believe
not in
that,
HD. We're never going to get it in focus. I think that's part of his superpower.
Why?
I think that's part of the power. All right, I think that's part of some kind of aura. You just can't. It's just will always be out of focus.
Interesting.
I think there really is something to cryptids in general.
With that,
not
all cryptids though.
A lot of them. I think
I've seen some shit. Some
but
shit.
Have you tried to video it?
No.
And also,
No.
I don't know. See, now I'm going back on this footage.
My brain couldn't process what the fuck I was seeing, let alone to pull out my phone and find the camera button and I was think about that. How the fuck do these people sometimes get this shit on their camera phones in real time? Because shit happens fast.
I got this one.
What?
They have shitty. I'm talking the shittiest life and death responders. they're like, oh shit, that's awful, hold on, let me film it. Meanwhile, you and I are like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here,
or go help or whatever. Yeah, let's take action. It's interesting. There is,
and that is something we've trained that into people, because this idea of you have to document it ever since the well, if you didn't take pictures, it didn't happen whole thing. I remember being, I was still living in Texas, so I had to at least been like somewhere between 12 and 14 when one of the first digital camera ads that was small enough you can fit it in your regular it was this commercial of Steve Tyler walking by, and all these ladies started just going nuts and just ripping through their purses, and this girl just reaches in and pulls out a digital camera, and it wasn't even a camera phone. No, it was an actual digital camera.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that, like, suddenly it was like, no, we've been conditioned to whip out a phone.
Well, I've, I've tried. I, made a shortcut to get to my camera. Just in case of that, I just hit my power button twice in case I need to quickly get to my camera, and then look, my camera's open, you see?
Hey, it's you.
It's just, all you gotta do is click twice, boop, boop, and it's on, So that way, if anything's happening in the moment and I need to film something, it's important going on, I can pull up my camera fast, So that's just a little tip, guys, there for you. So for those of you out there who are like, how do I get to my camera? You know what I mean? Like make a shortcut for it. Put it on your home screen, whatever it is, or just make one of those double tap or shake. Sometimes your phone will allow you to shake it.
Oh man, I can't even remember what phone I had that had that. That was one of the best.
Yeah, a lot of smartphones nowadays have the option to set do this or shake it like this or do something, and it'll do something, and but that's funny. But so going back to
going back to the footage.
Yes.
I wanted to say, now that I was thinking about it, and this is on a weird side of things, because when did that footage come out? Like late 70s?
Something around that. Okay. Something like that, yeah.
On a fabrication standpoint,
harder to do then.
Way harder to do, because if you go back and watch daytime TV back then.
You know what? That might have been in the 90s. The Gimlin Patterson footage. Let me look that up. Actually, but I'm not sure.
Let me. I'll go on this rant while you fact check.
Please do that. Yeah.
Okay. So, on sitcoms back in the day for daytime TV, there's always a dude in a gorilla suit.
67.
1967.
Okay.
Even harder, because back then
it's the Patterson Gimlin film is what it's referred to. I got the names mixed up, but I still got it right.
Yeah. That's why it sounded right. Okay.
Right.
So is way harder back then to just whip up a suit.
Right.
Okay. And even now, I mean,
guys, this is what we're talking about here. So
I like how you're not even gonna
it's
even gonna cut away. Just we'll fix it. No, we're not fixing nothing in post.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Exactly. Fix it in pre, damn it. Fix it in pre. No, creating that suit. So finding someone that tall, making a suit for them. I used to, so a little bit of a backstory on me. I worked on Swamp Thing, on the creature suits. I worked on Westworld, patched up some of the drone suits. I didn't make them, I just patched some up. But I've worked on creature suits for Army of the Dead, for Swamp Thing, on the Blue Devil suit, Floronic Man, Swamp Thing suit. Making a creature suit is way more complicated than you think. It's not just making a fur jumpsuit, and crappy fur fabric looks like crappy fur fabric. Think about it. Every time a crap gorilla suit when you see one.
Right.
And it's that cheap cheap monkey fur. Creating that would be difficult. Finding someone that tall discreetly would be difficult, and then filming it with all these parameters of it's a secret. We're trying to have a hoax last that long. That's, I don't know. Now I am kind of questioning my knee-jerk response of no, I'm more along the line of it's probably fake, not it's no, I think it's probably real. It might be fake. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I do know those suits are hard to make. And making that back then would have been a far larger task.
Well, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing about that. I agree with you. I will say that I think you're absolutely correct there. I think that with time comes technology, you know, and with time, with that technology comes a lot of ease in manipulation.
Right.
It's a lot easier to Photoshop something. It's a lot easier to change the lighting on something. It's a lot easier to, as you said, create practical effects even. So from the practical effects standpoint all the way up to a post-editing standpoint, you have so much more options as time goes on.
Right.
And what I mean by that is like we're starting from 1967 to we're going to 2025.
There's only one way to edit film back then.
Correct. Cutting.
Razor blade.
Actual cutting.
And high gloss Scotch tape.
Correct.
That's it.
Exactly. So, but from 1967, let's call that the beginning of this timeline for this show's sake, right?
Yeah.
1967 to 2025. From there, so you got 1967 where the beginning, let's just say the beginning of technology for this equation, you know, started at film being shot. Started at still photos being shot. What technology did we have at the time? We had even with professional cameras, there were extreme limitations.
Oh yeah,
Polaroid. We had things along those lines that were significantly. I'll put it this way:
you had Panavision, you had Kodak, and you had Polaroid.
And I'll put it this way: back then, or since then, and even today. We make monumental leaps in resolution, in picture resolution and video resolution almost annually. You see what I'm saying? But so back then, we're talking about, we're literally going back generations of video technology.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when you take that into consideration, what you said is, I would say, almost pinpoint accurate. I would say that is something that one of the main things that needs to be taken into account here is the time discrepancy.
Right.
In 1967, the options for editing were so slim. But let's just put it this way. That film, let's just take it to a standard practical standpoint for that particular film. That film, if fake, is practical effects only. There is no technological way that they could have fixed that up and made that look like something. There is no CGI back then. There's nothing along those lines. That's a suit, if it's a suit.
Yep.
Or that's whatever it is.
Well, also, if you think of like physical performance, the style of physical performance back then, because, okay, so... You know, if you look at if you look at the way like when talkies were coming out, you had one big wide shot. You didn't have close-ups, so you had all these reactions and acting.
So more like a theater responses. These more animated.
And as
interesting,
and as we could get higher resolution, you can get that lens on in there, get your close-ups.
Focus, you get close-ups.
Then
and
came,
like
you know, the simple reactions that most people don't.
But how does that? What's your point though?
Point is, again, late 60s, early 70s, man in a costume. We know what that looks like. We know what that acts like. We know what that feels like based upon the physical performance style of that day.
So you think that...
I think it's like...
So with that being said, do you think you see aspects of that in the Patterson Gimlin footage or no?
No.
Okay, I would say...
I'm not seeing a bouncy monkey.
I would say, taking into account what you're saying, I would agree with you as well. However, I'll push back on that a little bit. I'll say that I think people were smart enough back then to to change their movements, to think outside the box and say, listen, this creature might not move like us. It might have a different kinetic response, a different kinetic way it gestures, and
the director could have just said that's too cartoony and just walk.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to think too, like there's this footage. This footage was brought by two guys, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. So it's like, why did what? Like, what? I understand. What were they together? Just on a photography trip together? You see what I'm saying? Like, was one of them in the suit? You know what I mean? Like, there were two of them. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point. My point is that there are certain aspects of this that, like, a lot of people who don't have the time for any kind of conspiratorial nonsense, is the way they see it. They're gonna look at that and go, dude, there were two guys out there. One's taking the picture. Where's the other one? In the fucking suit.
Duh.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't care about it that much to have both their names on it.
Bingo! Unless they were both involved.
Unless they both want the credit for something.
Right. Exactly. So if one guy, because that's absolutely true. If my name's Bob Gimlin or Roger Patterson and I'm the one with the camera or I'm the one with my camera and all of a sudden this thing comes crossing the river.
There it is.
I'm taking a picture. And then I'm going to go, dude, look what I got, bro. And then I'm not going to go name it the Eddie Booz Joel Reed film. What the fuck? Does that make any sense?
No. You work in production. You know who owns the film.
Exactly.
Who owns the film?
I own the film.
No. Who owns
Bigfoot
the camera?
owns the film.
No. Who owns the camera?
It does, dude. My point is, if I take, you're getting way like you're.
No. I'm using these examples as backing and grounding on my logic. It's like you're right. The person who owns the camera, that's their footage, not two people.
Right. It's the guy who owns the camera's footage. Exactly. It's not gonna. And why? That doesn't make any sense. Exactly. So you can make that argument. Like, why are both guys' names on the footage? Like, excuse me. Unless they both had something to do with the actual filming of the thing.
Wait. One was the camera operator, and one was
the director.
The director of photography. Because
it's union. What do you do? Still, come on. Yeah, two random guys out. What do you take? Do you take a spotter for bird watching? And it's like, you know what I mean? Like you're a sniper. You know what I mean? Like, it's 325 yards out.
Yeah, location scouts spent months trying to find.
Come on, guys. All right, so the Gimlin Patterson footage has. People have said it's debunked. People have said, it's real. Who knows? I think you bring up some good points. I would say, as far as that footage goes, I actually don't have an opinion. I actually don't know. I actually would say on that particular footage, it so easily could be one or the other that I'm just like, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to think.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because of that. Because it doesn't lean, for me, because I do think Bigfoot's real. I don't think that there's been all of these legends and all of this stuff out there. I'll be honest with you, too. I think vampires are also real. I also think werewolves are real. I think shit like that is absolutely real. And one of the reasons, and I'll kind of come back to Bigfoot in a second here, but one of the reasons I believe that all these things are real is that all of these stories come from somewhere. And my father was a young boy, and he told me this story about when he went and visited, I believe it was his grandmother in a Hungarian village in Hungary. And he was a little boy, and he said there was garlic all over the windows and like crosses everywhere and things like that. Or maybe it was my grandfather that told him this. I can't remember. I'll have to ask my dad. When I get home tonight, I'm calling my dad, I'm going to ask him. He said that he asked his grandmother or his aunt, he was like, hey, what is all this for? Like, what's all the garlic for, around the doorways and around the windows and things like that? And what's all this stuff for? The mirrors around the house, like, what's all this stuff? And she said, she told him that though all of those things are real. She said that, like, out here where we are, out in these small villages in Hungary, she's all, we actually have to consider vampires and werewolves in our daily and nightly lives. We don't go out after dark, like, you know what I mean? Like certain things along those lines. And she said, these are actual protections for things that we live with on a daily basis. They're stories to you, but realities to us. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's just one of the reasons that, like, I do. And I'm much more open to the idea that these things exist. There are things out there that we just don't know. Oh, yeah. Like I said in my intro, you know what I mean? Like, I invite you to consider that, maybe, just maybe, we we haven't even scratched the surface of the truths that lie before us. You know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of that has to do with control. I think a lot of, government control and man-made control, and, doesn't want us to have our eyes open to many, many, many things.
I think a good 60% of fear is taught. Now, there are some instinctual fears we have, but most of the things that we're afraid of, I think it's popular to be afraid of it, or it's taught.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, and that's the thing about that is that we have a world that's governed and run largely on fear.
Yeah.
It's a fear-based consumer market. You know what I'm saying? I mean, largely people buy things out of fear.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Politics gets fear-based.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many different things that...
Toothpaste gets fear-based.
Yeah, right. Fluoride in your blood, bro. Like,
no, it's the...
But no, the fluoride thing is real. Let's get it out of your water. So, but yeah.
But no, the gingivitis, or you don't want to have ugly teeth, do you?
I mean, I'll brush my teeth with baking soda and water. How's that? Is that good? What's it? There are natural toothpaste. I still use like Crest.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? I try to use.
I use whatever. People ask me what brand I use. I don't know. I travel so many places. I've used so many tubes.
I'll
of
be honest with
toothpaste
you.
in the
I
past
gotta
month.
get something that's natural, that just has like the least amount of ingredients. You know what I mean?
And just crush up some mint leaves, grow some mint leaves in a garden, and just crush up the mint leaves.
Here's the thing, like I'm cool with like the Listerine afterwards too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it just needs to clean your teeth. It doesn't need to have the chemicals and shit in it. So how do we do that? Sand? I'm just kidding. It's gritty.
You got your fingernail, just scrape the gunk off your teeth. Just get it up in the crevices and on your gum line. As long as your teeth are
floss,
clean.
baby.
There you
Floss,
go.
baby, floss.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, back to.
I'm not an oral hygienist. Don't listen to me.
I floss. Shit, I use those little.
I floss.
Those little flossers. The like the toothpick ones, the green ones. That those are dope, dude. I have those things in my pocket all the time, for sure. But did Bigfoot floss? That's the question.
Probably. I mean, oral hygiene's important to all living creatures.
But what did he floss with?
The sinew of his last kill? I don't know.
Something. All right, Joel. You fucking knucklehead. That's good. Nah, but no, I think we just barely scratched the surface of some cryptids, and I think what I'd like to do here is, for a few episodes, I'd like to address some cryptids.
Yeah,
I think I'd like to talk about a couple of different ones. So Bigfoot, I think the common consensus with us is that Bigfoot is real. I was the executive producer of a Bigfoot film a few years ago called Bigfoot: The Lost Coast Tapes. Yeah, and it came out on Netflix. It was on Redbox. You can find it at Walmart still, I think.
It's in the bargain bin.
Yeah. But I think Bigfoot's real, and I do think that there's some things about Bigfoot, like how they say that he's like, 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the spirit world, and that he can travel between the two, and that's why we don't see him. It's because
that's why he's out of focus.
That's what,
see?
He's on his way into the spirit world, or he's just, or is it like
peace out.
Okay, so I haven't heard, I just saw the new Superman.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil any. No, okay, I'm not going to spoil anything. But they make an excuse.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out.
I'm just going to say something. Wait.
Yeah.
They make an excuse in this movie for why people don't see Clark as Superman with just the glasses, which I've never heard before, but maybe it's canonically correct. But I have never heard that the glasses
and
make other people see him as somebody else. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
essentially, it's not him putting on the glasses makes other people see him as somebody else.
It's
like
the
they literally see a
semi-psychic
different
paper
face
from Doctor Who.
Okay, but that's what we're talking about with Bigfoot here. Is there something about him that doesn't allow modern technology to film him or work properly around him?
It's the same
Is
thing
that
with
what
vampires.
you're saying of why he's always out of focus?
Yes.
Interesting.
That's why, exactly. It's because...
He wears Superman's glasses.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's weird. But it's...
But it makes just enough
canonically
sense.
correct. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
Canonically
kidding.
correct.
I don't know, dude. I mean, we don't know. So, I mean, Bigfoot's a weird one, no, because...
Here's my thing, because... Sorry, go.
How many cultures over how long
exactly, that's where I was about to go.
Have been reporting this thing, this hairy creature that's a man, that's bipedal, larger than a man.
In Tibet, the Yetis
that's what I'm saying.
shrines
That's what I'm saying.
are
Dude,
almost like patron saints, if not worshipped. I don't know fully if they're worshipped, but I do know that there are shrines.
Right, and then you hear stories that are completely opposite of each other. Like some stories you hear where it's like the Bigfoot was protecting a person.
Yep.
And then sometimes you hear stories where the Bigfoot was chasing a person out of an area. Or Bigfoot was...
he knows what you're up to.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
He sees you when you're sleeping.
Well,
he knows when you're awake.
I wasn't the one that got chased out of the area, Joel. Some other dude told a story on Mr. Ballin or some shit like that.
Oh, he's lying. You can't outrun Bigfoot.
Well, I'm not saying...
Well, if you get chased by Bigfoot, you ain't surviving. Sorry.
In the story, it seemed like they were just trying to herd them out of like a valley.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But it doesn't seem like they were like necessarily trying to attack them. But from what I remember, they did see them. So I don't know.
Probably.
I'll have to go and like look up that particular Mr. Ballin episode. But I stopped watching Mr. Ballin, dude. I don't know why. I
stopped watching a lot of YouTubers.
Really?
Yeah.
Like his stuff was good, but it started to get too depressing. I think, dude. I think for me it was too like there wasn't enough missing 911 or missing 411 or like mystery stuff. It started to get dark. It started to get like
everything is. Yeah. Everything
for me it started to get a little too true crimey. You know, that's why I don't watch true crime, is because it's just all just like
that makes you paranoid,
dude. Like it's so depressing, dude. And to know these people are just out there running around, like I'd almost rather be ignorant to all of those cases. You know what I mean? Like, you know, me and Mallory recently did an episode on the John Benet Ramsey case.
Oh yeah.
And that dude, we barely scratched the surface of that. In fact, we have to do like a whole series on that, like her and I. But dude,
that one gets nuts.
Fucking crazy,
my ex
dude.
Followed that thing religiously.
Bro, we were only like fucking how old were we? We were only in our teens. We were like 16 when that happened, right? It was the 90s, right?
I
can't remember. We literally just did an episode about that. No. The John Benet Ramsey case was a long time ago.
Okay, but yeah.
It was a long time ago, yeah. But no, dude, just wild shit, dude. Like,
but yeah.
But, no, when we this particular episode has made me definitely want to continue on into more episodes about cryptids, number one. Number two, again, I do think Bigfoot's real. I don't think we know whether it's positive, negative, or whatever, but I think more than not, at least more than what I've heard than not, it's not necessarily a violent thing that's trying to attack people. Or I think we would have had many people have experienced that,
right? And
there'll be stories about that. But maybe a lot of the missing 411 cases are people that have been attacked. They just don't get, like, you know what I mean? But like they don't live through the attack, so they're not come back to say. But I don't know, because a lot of the missing 411 cases, they do find their bodies.
You're right.
Some of them, they never find anything. Some of them, they find them alive. Some of them find them dead. Some of them never find their bodies at all.
Sometimes you just found one of their shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
In a tree.
Or a black backpack. Or their clothes all folded up nice and neat in like some place they searched 80,000 times.
Yeah. And
bro, the craziest shit from those missing 411 cases. But But yeah, no, the Mr. Ballin thing, going back to that, it's just like watching true crime for me is hard, dude. It's
Yeah.
really difficult for me. I remember being a kid and like I was watching Rescue Night. Remember back in the day, they used to have two shows that would come on one right after the other. It was Rescue 911 and America's Most Wanted.
Yep.
And when America's Most Wanted would come on, I would generally go in the other room.
Yeah.
But because I remember the very first time I saw it, I was like watching it with my stepdad, and then the guy at the end, John Walsh, was like, "If you've seen this guy, call 1-800." And I looked at my stepdad and I go, "This dude's walking around out there right now?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, went over to the front door and like looked out the window. I was like, lock. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I was probably like 10,
Sure.
8, 10, something like that, and that like
Old
that,
enough to understand you should lock your
yeah,
door.
bro. Like old enough to understand that, like, fuck this, dude. Like, this is true. And then that, ever since then, I've had an absolute aversion to true crime. Ever since that day, I've been like, it put the fear of God in me, that there's criminals out there running around killing people and raping people and doing crazy shit to people for no other good reason than they're a criminal and they're a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that blew my mind. I was like, I didn't get that. Like, that was the first time I like was open to that experience, and ever since then, I've always had this like, true crime stuff. No thanks. That's real.
Yeah.
I love horror movies.
No.
I love a good story and things like that. But when you really see, like, okay, recently I did see. Sometimes I watch those body cam vids. You know what I mean? Like, some of them are funny, some of them are sad. You get somebody with mental health issues.
Yeah.
Some of them are really interesting. And once I saw this one of a case that's still going on right now of this girl named Taylor Shabiznis who cut the head of her ex-boyfriend off. She said I was watching the interview with her and the cops.
Business.
Bro, yeah. I was watching the episode with the body cam video, and the cop was interviewing her, the detective was interviewing her, and from what I remember, she said that they were like smoking meth, and they were going to get into some intercourse stuff, but she was like, they were doing some strangulation play, which is normal for them apparently, right? This is what she told the cop.
I'm not going to kink shame.
She said she didn't stop this time, and she said she killed him, right? So she killed him, and then she just decided that she was going to, and apparently she like cuddled with the dismembered body. But she chopped his fucking head off, put it in a bucket right at the bottom of his parents' stairs, and left. And his parents' mom came down and found her son's head in that bucket at the bottom of the stairs in the basement. Now, no joke, dog. This is really, bro. It's on the body cam footage.
But my deal is like,
but here's the thing.
where does that seem like a good time? Like, I don't understand the
Bro,
appeal.
Listen. Me and you grew up in a time, to address what you just said, me and you grew up in a time where there was no internet. We remember a time with no internet.
Yeah, I do.
It was about, how old are you again? You're 36?
37.
37. So you're, so I'm 44.
But,
so you're close.
okay,
so you're about 10.
I was 37.
So you're about 10 when the
Grew up
internet
in Texas,
started.
though.
Okay, all right. So less.
I did not have the internet. I didn't have a computer in my house till I was maybe 10 or 11, and we didn't have the internet.
Okay,
yeah,
so when I was around 18, the internet started to become prevalent. That was when like Napster and LimeWire, and you could download shit, even though downloading a song took you like a third of a day.
God, I remember
What
that.
I mean? Like, so back then, before that, we understood what life was like in just a general communicative view, and how the pace of life was. The pacing of life back then was far different than it is with the internet, with your smartphone, with social media, with all this stuff. Wait a minute, I'm making a point here. So what I'm thinking is a lot of this debauchery and the crazy shit we're seeing out of the out of the younger generations has to do with that. The fact that porn is at your fingertips from an early age now. So what these kids are now seeing porn and normal fucking at like 5, 6, 7 years old, 10, 11, 12, instead of finding their dad's porn in their, at 12, 13, but instead of finding a porno mag with a naked woman in it, they're seeing all this shit, but it's extreme. It's getting more and more extreme every day. by the way. And so now these kids are exposed to that from an early age, right? They don't even wait till they're in their 20s and 30s to start getting exposed to pornography anymore.
Right.
So now, by the time they're 20, they're experimenting with drugs and they're doing this stuff that we're talking about here with this girl and this dude.
Yeah.
By this time, that is boring to them. And this is just a thought. This is my thought. This is an opinion. So
Sure.
because it's so extreme nowadays, because porn is so hardcore and so at your fingertips and it gets more and more and more and more and more, whatever.
Right.
These kids are experiencing that from such a young age that by the time they get to they're 20, regular sex, regular intercourse with somebody their age or losing their virginity to somebody their age doesn't even, it doesn't even make, they're not as... You see what I'm saying?
It's the FOMO.
That doesn't come into like any kind of play at all. It's that when they get like the fact that they've been exposed to so much crazy shit at once at such a young age, by the time they even get to an age where you're really supposed to start experiencing sexual things and sexual experiences with people your age, they're already moved on to fucking choking and fucking, the crazier shit like we were talking about with this couple who'd like to experience this at 20 something years old, and they're smoking meth and they're fucking choking each other out, and the chick just doesn't want to stop this time, so she kills him and cuts his fucking head off
that just,
and his dick and balls and dismembers him and fucking...
No, I guess my thing is like...
She was like, oh yeah, his foot's probably in my van.
At what point... Okay, exactly. At what kind of intoxication level are you going to be where this makes logical sense to do? That's the point.
There is no intoxication level that you can get to if that's not in you. If that is not in you as a human being to chop someone's motherfucking head off, then you're not doing that. It doesn't matter how intoxicated you get. If that's in you, in your blood, and that's in you as a person, and you can do that, then you can do that. I don't think that any kind of intoxicant is going to drive somebody who's just not willing or capable to hurt someone in that manner to do something like that. Now, that being said, again, there's all types of things that I don't know about. When I'm talking about being drunk. I'm talking about being on fucking the drugs that we currently know about. Even meth. I don't think that even meth is going to drive someone who's a peaceful person to be non-peaceful in such a way that they're just killing people. You see what I'm saying? And cuddling with the dismembered bodies and shit. That is something that is for the deeper. Fucking absolutely runs deeper. That's for the nut jobs, dude.
Yeah, that's not drugs.
That's for sure for the nut jobs.
Now
that's we do have drugs.
Where does that sound fun?
We have seen this, like bath salts. People eat bath salts and then eat your face off or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, we have seen that happen, but I'm not familiar with that shit. I don't know. I'm fucking 44 years old, dog. I don't know what the fuck about bath salts and shit, dude. I don't know about.
Well, bath salts is like it's a combination of like 2 or 3 different hallucinogens and stimulants.
Dude, fuck all of that, bro. Give me some mushrooms, dude.
Like, yeah, right. Let's just get mellow.
Dude, let's like DMT, some mushrooms, something. I don't even fucking like acid, dude. I don't like ecstasy either. I don't like pills. If it's manufactured, I don't like it.
Yeah, if it doesn't come from the ground, my rule of thumb is 9 out of 10.
Dude, I don't even take painkillers, bro. I'm not even kidding you. If I have to, I'll take naproxen sodium.
Sure.
And if I have like a horrible toothache and I can't sleep, I'll take some naproxen sodium.
Yeah, sure.
Other than that, I'll deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't take Vicodin. I don't take opiate. Fuck that.
I dab, but I'm like past that. If you light your
pot.
But if you
You're smoking weed.
My point is,
weed.
I dab, but like other than that, if you light your pipe from the bottom, we ain't friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. That's just my rule.
That's a good rule of thumb. If you light your pipe from the bottom, I don't fuck with it.
We ain't friends. I'm sorry.
That's good, dude.
I might have one. No, I have one friend who is the exception to that one rule that I know. But I'm
can't, bro. I can't put myself around that. I've had too many bad experiences with people on uppers, bro. You know, on meth particularly. You know, so. But yeah, man, it's a rough one, dude. But I will say, let's take this step by step and rewind it back to the Patterson Gimlin footage. So taking this all the way back there, I will say that that
Speaking of which,
drugs aren't gonna let me put a cap on this one. Drugs aren't going to. I don't believe that the drugs that we know of, pot, coke, weed, meth, heroin, like the main ones that like in the 70s and 80s, like we grew up like, don't say no to drugs, kids, like those ones, I don't believe that those ones are going to drive a non-violent person to be violent. Moving even backwards a little further.
Okay, here I will say
maybe
this.
meth?
No, meth and acid
because
over a long
when people
period.
come down off of meth, they're fucking assholes.
No, well, it's not just that. It's what you're willing to do for that next hit.
Yeah, you're right.
And
that's a slope.
But see, again, that is after repeated use. I don't see someone trying meth for the first time. Sure, they'll go on a bender for a weekend, but I don't think they're gonna like. I don't think that's the weekend they're gonna start breaking into cars for stereos.
Now. Okay, but we're also talking about like chopping someone's head off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that like a heroin addict, for instance, is going to chop someone's head off just for the fucking willy nilly of it. You know?
I don't think a heroin addict could. I think a heroin addict's gonna be just
well,
just
because
deflated.
and we're saying now, and remember, we're not just saying that they're doing it to get drugs. We're talking about Taylor's business for a moment.
Yeah, she meant
and
business.
we're talking about that she cut his head off while she was on drugs, and because of the drugs that she was on. I don't think that's going to cause someone like that.
The inspiration hit. And the behavior was normalized in her mind because of her drug experience.
I believe it amplified who she is.
Sure.
I think it amplified a reality of an actual person.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking here. That's just my thought.
No, yeah.
And that's what I think we see with that's what they say about alcohol. They say alcohol just amplifies the real person, the real version of you.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Pot, I would say, is not the same. Very much not the same. It doesn't bring a person out of you that's not you. I've never seen somebody smoke weed and turn into to Mr. Hyde. I've never seen someone smoke a joint and go from Dr. Jekyll to... I've never seen a real life version of Reefer Madness. Let's just put it that way.
I've seen the other way around. I've seen me be
somebody
Mr.
pissed
Hyde
off and then smoke a joint and then become Mr. Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I've seen out of pot most of the time.
Happy, sleepy, hungry. Those are the only side effects. Cat Williams said it best.
So I would say, for the most part, the uppers and the alcohol are the things that would push a person into that into that zone if they're already capable of being in that zone in the first place. I would say it amplifies them into that place, but a peaceful person, a peaceful man is not going to get unpeaceful because he's drunk, in my opinion, most of the time. Now, there's obviously going to be exceptions to that rule, but what I'm saying is that most of the time that probably stands to be true.
Well, this also
amplifies who you are, doesn't make you do different things.
And it goes back to, and I really enjoy the irony of back to the Sunday school song, "Be careful, little eyes, what you see." If you're putting, you're putting this kind of stuff in front of your eyes, you're taking that in, it's in you.
Yeah.
Or if you let it grow, if you water those plants in you, then that's, how many, think about it. How many times have we seen someone just be completely decapitated in a film, and it doesn't faze us anymore?
Oh, it phases me, brother. I'll tell you right now. Like when I was younger, and I think a lot of us have this, particularly people my age. When you were born in the 80s and you went through your like teens in the 90s, and there was like no internet back then at the time, or it was just basically first very barely starting to kind of emerge.
Also, slasher films were just coming out in the 80s.
You have to remember that there were things like Faces of Death.
Yeah.
There were videos like that would circulate through your community. Somebody would get this Faces of Death video and they'd, oh man, we got to watch this, and you'd get shown it by a buddy of a buddy or some shit like that. You'd be over at a buddy's house and, oh fuck, they want to watch Faces of Death. I got the new Faces of Death, and then it would be a series, and it would be like horrible car crashes and auto accidents, but it would show the mangled bodies in these things, or murders and things like that. And
but it was so hard to come by.
It was. That's why I say you a buddy of a buddy would have
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? You could watch it at his house, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, man, like that was such and I remember seeing like part of one when I was that age, 16, 17. I remember it was that kind of experience. A buddy of a buddy had a copy. You know, hey, do you want to watch this? Not really, but we're putting it on, so whatever. Okay, all right. So they put it on. About 5 minutes in, 2 or 3 of the videos go by, 2 or 3 of the clips go into the video. I couldn't watch.
Yeah.
It's just not in. It's just not like that's not something I enjoy. You know that actually took me a while when I was young to start to dude, I've studied martial arts my entire life.
Same.
When I very first saw MMA, like UFC, it took me a long time to desensitize myself to the fact that to what I was seeing. I'm not kidding.
Well, that's because in martial arts, we're taught discipline. We're taught defend. We're taught honor. Right. And I'm just going to go out on a.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to add to that.
I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying.
I'm going to add to that. We were also taught to fight for defense on the street in a life and death situation. We're not taught to fight for sport. When you're learning martial arts in the 80s, there is no fucking UFC. What the fuck? You're learning martial arts to defend yourself in a life or death situation.
Yeah.
You are not, it's not correct. You're not learning martial arts to like not kick to the groin, to not kick to the knees, to not hit somebody in the throat, to not poke somebody's fucking eye out of their head if they're trying to kill you. You're taught in these martial arts to defend yourself and do the most amount you have to do the most amount of damage in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort to somebody who's trying to hurt you. You don't want to spend 5 minutes in a fight with a guy who's a foot taller than you and 100 pounds heavier. It ain't going to work out. It ain't going to work out too well. You have to end it now. You have to end it, and you have to end it fast. Very fucking fast.
Effectively neutralize it.
That's what we learned as you... And I'll be honest, that's something you learn as you get into the much more advanced stages of martial arts. They don't teach that to you as a white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, purple belt, blue belt, green belt, brown belt, black belt. They don't teach... Once you get to brown, black... You start to get that stuff. You start to get some of the eye gouges. You start to get some of the throat punches, the leopard punches to the throat. Around green belt, you'll start to get some of those. You know what I mean? Like, you'll start to get some of the, in your techniques, you'll get some, like, things like that.
Right.
Cut maybe some eye pokes or some, like, eye rakes here and there, but you're not necessarily getting deadly shit. Like, this is gonna maim someone and put them into the hospital. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, just throw that disclaimer out there. When I say that martial arts in the 80s taught that, you had to get far. You had to go. You had to move through, experience to learn those things. They don't teach those things to white belts and shit like that. But my overarching point is that the desensitization to even martial arts, being a martial artist, seeing these guys fight for sport, I had to reconcile something in my own brain and my own heart about that these men were training to do this, that these men are training to fight for sport, because the moment you see somebody starting to get their fuck beat out of them real hard and blood, boom, 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 it'd be like this thing where, like, fuck, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like,
he's had enough.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but you have to realize that, like, he hasn't had enough. He signed up for this. He literally trained for this. This is his fucking job. It's a lot different than what I learned.
Right.
So in my head of what was ingrained in me as a martial artist, and somebody, it's all right, was somebody with that kind of experience and knowing that that's what it's for. You know what I mean? And me, dude, like, because I know that's what it's for, I don't want to fight you. I never want to have to fight you, because if I do, holy fuck, dude, I don't want to have to. I'm never going to fight somebody that's smaller than me. I'm not going to go pick on anybody. So most of the time, anytime I fight, I'm going to be defending myself.
Right.
Generally, that's not going to be from somebody who's smaller than me. Somebody who's usually you don't have, and I'm a pretty small dude.
Yeah.
I'm only 5'8", 135 pounds. So for someone to be smaller than me, yip yapping at people and shit like that is going to be very rare. All I'm saying, most of the big boys that have something to prove are going to be the ones that are picking on somebody my size or your size.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but bro, yeah, we learned discipline. We learned these things. We learn And I'm not saying people that fight for sport don't learn discipline either.
No,
and don't have honor either.
I'm not saying honor
absolutely.
that isn't
They're
there.
very.
I'm just saying.
It took me personally. It took me a while to desensitize myself to that type of violence. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
it's a different type of pageantry.
Exactly. But I'll tell you this. Just like porn, I feel like today's generations haven't had the opportunity, and maybe I'm completely off base here, but I don't think that they've had the opportunity to value human life the way we did. Because of this type of thing. Because they essentially, we didn't get that growing up. Do you see what I'm saying? And they're getting that from birth.
Yeah.
From birth, from the first thing that they're seeing is combat. And it's not only acceptable, it's the biggest sport in the fucking world.
Well, also not just that, it's also look at healthcare and how they're taken care of. Look at what a cast looks like now compared to the cast that we would, you and I would have worn, as opposed to the plaster, you know,
the thing that weighs 12 pounds on your arm that you're carrying around.
That our dads would have worn.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, you know, getting hurt isn't as much of an inconvenience as it used to be.
Right. Yeah, that's true, dude.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it becomes this extreme thing where violence is a lot more acceptable.
Yep.
You know, people are a lot more prone to jump into a violent solution than they are to a peaceful solution or something along those lines because of what they see, because of how violence and combat is like. And dude, I'm subscribed to BKFC. I fucking love Mike Perry. I think he's one of the best fight. I fucking love watching him fight. Like, I love bare knuckle fighting. It's one of the, I enjoy it very much. Like, it was, and it was hard for, it's hard for some people to come to my house and watch that now. I showed somebody recently the fight with Mike Perry and Michael Venom Page at like MVP and Mike Perry when MVP came to bare knuckle fighting. Bro, that fight was bloody as fuck, dude. Mike Perry's face was huge at the end of that fight. He still won in an extra round. Like, dude, like, I enjoy watching that very much now. You know, and especially breaking it down analytically, as you know, studied martial arts my whole life. I love watching the strategy of it, and that's what I've kind of grown to you know, find more of. But I think that a lot of the access that people have today as they're growing up from an early age to everything, the sexual stuff, the violence, the everything else, I think it's naturally desensitizes us, and not us, I mean, and not all of us, but people, humanity, to these sorts of things, and allows for greater exploration into action of those themes as they age in life. And I think a lot of that has to do with why we're seeing a social acceptance in maybe not so positive things over the last few years.
I would agree. And I mean, I also think, like, you know, especially with films with, and not just sports and that, like films with gore. Like, I'll say that doesn't faze me, but I've worked for 12 years in the film industry as an effects makeup artist and practical effects technician.
Bro, I make movies and I cannot watch movies like Hostel or Turistas or shit like that because I can't deal with that gore for gore's sake. No storyline, just a fucking...
Yeah, gore porn's not my jam.
Can't do it, dude.
It's a great paycheck. Great paycheck. I'll make those movies all day long. Don't you?
I'm just not gonna watch it.
Give me a call. But
he's good at that shit too, by the way. Oh my god, we made this short. I gotta tell this story real quick. We made this short. I'm just gonna. This story is just a small thing into the dedication that Joel shows in these moments. Okay, we're shooting the climactic scene. We've been on set for 14 hours this day, maybe more, actually. We're shooting the climactic scene. Everyone is tired. Everyone is so tired.
16 hours a day. Yeah.
All sales are final, dude.
All sales, okay, yeah.
And we're at the very end of the day, and this guy, our main character actor, is sitting over this book, and he's writing, and blood starts to come out of his, and he's writing fucking furiously, right?
It's the practical effect. Blood's supposed to be
Blood's
dripping out of his nose.
Dripping out of this guy's nose
it's a good
onto
thing.
the book. Right. In the movie,
He's not
we're
just that
looking,
stressed.
and we're coming. The camera angle's coming from this side, and we hook the tube up to over his ear and under his eye and down right next to his nose on this side.
And we got the nice profile
and we
shot.
got the kind
and
of.
actually, we got.
Wasn't it profile? It was like a 45. It was coming from this angle on, right?
This much.
It was coming from this angle here.
Yeah.
And Joel is underneath the table. He's under the table and he's got the blood in, and he's got a pumper. And it's only a certain amount of blood in the tube and in the pumper. And Joel can only pump a certain amount of blood out into this thing, and it's done.
Shoestring budget.
Dude. We spent maybe $500 on each episode, and they came out really fucking good, dude. Clinton Rose, my favorite. But
beautiful.
But I'll to finish this up, dude. Joel we get in the shot. We only have one opportunity at this too, because the book's gonna get bloody. Everything's gonna get bloody. We don't have another book. We don't have nothing. It's over. This is the last shot of the movie. I mean, this is like the last shot before we ended the whole thing. Joel, I was so grateful, dude. I'm on camera. I'm moving the camera in, and I'm giving Kevin direction. It's MOS, which means there's no sound.
Motor only synced. So yeah. Visual only.
So I'm saying, Kevin, I'm like, rip this page, like, scribble here, like, do this, lean over, like, the blood's coming out of his nose, and it's and the blood is gone. There's no more blood. I'm fucking almost to Kevin, and there's no more blood in the tube. There's no more blood in the holder, or there's no more blood in the holder, but there's still blood in the tube, and there's no way for Joel to pump that blood that's in the tube out. So as we're shooting this, you can hear me giving Kevin direction. Joel takes the pumper off, gets on the floor, puts it in his mouth, and starts blowing the blood through the tube onto the fucking.
I think I poured blood in my mouth before I just think it was a gulp.
You did, bro. There was blood all in your mouth. It was, dude. That little bit made the movie, because it sprayed and it like gave that extra like holy shit.
It kept going.
It just was awesome. It was so good, and it gave that last practical effect to the fucking movie that made it feel real, feel right, you know. So, but no, Joel, just to get off on a tangent there for a sec, you killed that, dog. You fucking killed that. So anybody out there looking for makeup effects and shit like that, especially like horror gore effects, dude, this guy's awesome. This
Halloween
guy's on
season
it.
coming up.
Yeah. He does all kinds of haunts and shit like that too.
Southern California area.
But anyway, I'm going to end this episode. We've been on an hour and 11 minutes. I wanted to keep this like 40 minutes. We've already gone over half an hour. But sometimes we get into these conversations, and I don't want to end them. They work.
Right.
What we're talking about makes sense.
And it does talk about the Matrix being the societal structure that we're in. Exit it. You know, if you see,
right.
If you can see, I am getting desensitized to this. I am getting, you know. Because I can watch lacerated body, watching someone just get hit in the side of the head. Oh, dude, after 3 concussions in 1 year, watching someone get hit in the head is a no for Joel.
Yeah, dude. I still, to this day, it's like I can't watch even those fail videos. Because like when people like skaters hit their nuts on the pole or something like that, because it hurts me to watch them get hurt.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when I watch BKFC, like bare knuckle fighting, I'm very analytical about it.
Yeah.
Like it's not as. But I've also come to terms with the fact that this is what they do.
Right.
They train for these moments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this for another as lack for this fighting. In an arena like that, for lack of a better term, gets them off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they.
I know so many stuntmen addicted to fight mode.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
That adrenaline.
Exactly, dude.
Right when you square up, yeah.
And if you take all of this exposure to all this desensitization and stuff, and how visceral everything has become nowadays, and you take this all the way back and you rewind this to one pinpoint moment in 1967 where. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin filmed a grainy, blurry shot of Bigfoot crossing a river. The world went nuts.
Yep.
The entire fucking world lost their mind over that little tiny video. If that video was put out today, it wouldn't even you would never see it. No one would have ever seen it.
That would
never
be
make the
considered a
news.
cursed video on TikTok.
It'd be done.
There should be a cursed video on TikTok for sure.
That says a lot, in my opinion. That says a lot about where we've come, what's happened in society as far as the desensitization, as far as the not just the desensitization, which is a larger symptom of the instant gratitude, instant access to every single thing you ever want to see, every single thing you ever want to hear, every single thing you ever want to be convinced of, or you want your echo bubble, your chamber to solidify, or you want to learn something new, or you want to get out of your echo chamber, whatever that is. Now we have the absolute ability to do that, where we didn't back then. Back then, in the day, we had to. Back in the day, when I say the day, I mean pre-internet. I mean pre all of the resources and tools that we have now.
General analog society.
General analog society. Yeah. Back then, you had to work for your result. Meaning, you wanted to know something, you had to actually learn about it. You had to call somebody who knew something about it and talk to them about it. You had to go look it up in an encyclopedia. You had to figure it out. Nowadays, you don't got to do that. Nobody's got to do that. You just go on Google, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, whatever it is, and
watch
just type in.
Talk.
And just what?
Watch a TED Talk.
Yeah, exactly. And just exactly. And remember Neo in the Matrix, how you just plugged in and was uploading all that stuff to him. Tell me that's not generally true.
Yeah.
It's generally true what we're seeing nowadays. The only thing is that we have to. The last thing. The last piece of our own fucking humanity in this equation is the understanding. Are we still going to allow ourselves to that luxury, which I think it's a luxury. I think it's a luxury to be able to process, to analyze and process raw data for yourself. Understand shit. Don't let people or things tell you what's the truth. Don't let people or things tell you what to think or how to feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you feel me?
That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world.
It's all at your fingertips.
But
it's right here.
Knowing how to apply
all the knowledge is right there.
But how to apply it to your life.
Right.
And how to see results in it. That takes wisdom.
How about even to seek it out when you don't have
that takes wisdom.
Knowledge. Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing.
What if I took this phone away from you and said, you have to learn a skill right now? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You have no internet.
Walk to a friend's house.
You don't have internet access at all. What do you do? You have to learn it from somebody.
Go to the public library.
You have to go to the fucking library. You have
to
read a book. You have to actively engage in learning and understanding something. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And which
we're
is
plugged
exactly,
in, man. We're fucking plugged in, baby.
Which is exactly that echo chamber is.
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Exit the Matrix.
And
I invite you all to exit the Matrix, you guys. Seriously, that's what we've been talking about today. So we've been talking about in this whole damn podcast. I think we're like, we may be something around like 17 episodes in. I don't think we're going to do seasons of this. I think we're just going to run straight through just
keep cranking.
Yep, just numbers. Just straight episode numbers. Joel, you've been awesome today, brother. I can't thank you enough, man. You really are a great co-host, great guest, great conversation, man. And we tend to just kind of run the gamut on so many different things. But it all kind of comes back to what we started with, you know. Yep. And Bigfoot's real. Yeah, and chemtrails are happening, so watch out. Love you guys. If you guys have, by the way, to everybody out there, I just wanted to remind you guys, something I always like to remind you guys is that I love you guys. And I want you guys all to remember that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. I'll see you guys next time.
And also, before we go, let us know in the comments, what are some cryptids you like? What's some cryptid footage that you're like, that has you scratching your head on like, yo, everything within me says this is fake, but also everything within me says this is real. What's some of that? Hit us with that. Like honestly, I'd love to talk about the Jersey Devil. But we'll get into it.
Thanks for hijacking my outro, Joel. I appreciate it, brother. And no, it's all good. I love you still, brother. I'll see you on the next episode. All right. I love you guys, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. This is Exit the Matrix. Take care.
Just want a little crowd participate.